Welcome back to the Asylum.
I'm Kane.
And I'm Jashawn.
And we are the Arkham Inmates. And hello, how's everybody doing today? We have another Battle of the Best video. It's been a while. The other one was about a month ago, and it's kind of hard picking these characters because we want to have a broad amount. We don't want to have like just 2 or 3 to battle against. We want to have a good amount. So we did Superman last time, and then the one before that we did the Batman. So now we're gonna go into Marvel, and this week we are going to be doing the Incredible Hulk. And there's the 4 main ones. We're gonna be doing the 4 main actors that have played it from the TV show all the way to the new one now, and we're going to be trying to figure out which one's the best. And let's get into it. All right, so we are here ready to get all of the categories that we already find a perfect Hulk. So, Jashawn, just like last time, let's read them off. So for the first category, transformation. So this is when Banner turns into the Hulk, and basically, like with the Batman, Superman, those are the suits, the look. We're looking for how, when he transforms into the Hulk, what's his look?
What's the process like, and how's he look?
Is it look painful? Is it like when the comics where it's kind of like the muscles expand? Like, how is the transformation, and in the overall look, and how comic accurate the Hulk is, and what we really think of like how the Hulk should look. For the next one, Jashawn? Rage and aggression. So this is, well, I mean, this is what Hulk is. So how aggressive is he on the field, and how much rage? Like,
what's his temper like when he's fighting?
How furious is he?
As a Hulk.
As the Hulk. Yeah. And then the third one?
Physical strength.
Physical strength. So, as Hulk says, he's the strongest one there is. So we're going to put that to the test. We're going to look at all the Hulks and figure out of all of the stuff that we've seen, like what's, you know.
All the feats.
Like,
who's actually the strongest?
What can they pick up when they jump up through, you know, what they have held at bay, what they could really do as like a physical threat. And last but not least,
who's the best Bruce Banner?
Bruce Banner, the alter ego, who is the complete opposite of Hulk, and who plays that the best. And you already know how this goes with the point system. It is 1 out of 10 points for each category that add up to 40 points total. And whichever actor or, you know, interpretation of the Hulk is closest to 40 points will be the winner, whether we like them or not. So, let's get right into the first Incredible Hulk. Alright, Mark Ruffalo. So, he is the current Hulk. He is the MCU's Hulk ever since, I think, the first Avengers movie.
2012.
So, we are going to get right into it. So, for the first one, the transformation. I guess I think...
I like his original transformation in
from
Avengers.
The SHIELD helicarrier, right?
I'm going to give that a 10.
A 10?
Because I'll tell you why. When I was a kid, that was the only transformation that's actually scared me. Like, I was actually felt kind of like, whoa.
In the helicarrier?
Mm-hmm. When Black Widow's in there, and she's like, it kind of goes quiet, and she's like looking for Hulk, and he goes, Rah! He comes out. I know a lot of people that agree with me, where I'll see like reactors react to it, and when they get to that part, they're like, that it's like an actual. That actually scared me a little bit.
Okay, but in the transformation of like the look of it, I won't say a 10. 10 is like a perfect score. I don't think the transformation is.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with him transforming? What don't you like?
It doesn't look as painful. Like Norton's transformation when he's going with Mr. Blue on the table, that transformation, because we get to see fully from Banner from him. There's no really hiding or him scooting off anywhere. That I would give a little bit more. Like,
that looked pretty painful to me when he was neat. He was like,
yeah, I don't know. It's just the look of it, you know. And then we're also going transformation. So the way the Hulk looks himself, I don't like Hulk. I don't know, like the stomach, the bigger stomach instead of the muscles, and I don't like the bigger stomach feel, and I also don't like the pants going almost all the way down.
Okay.
And I'm not a fan of chest hair.
Okay. So I can agree with chest hair.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with pants. The stomach doesn't really bother me because I'm very into like working on stuff. I know like naturally a lot of like guys that can lift heavier aren't.
No, I know they're bigger, but I'm saying like with Hulk, the way he's in the comics, the way he's drawn
I get
is
it. I'm just saying it.
complete muscle upon muscle upon
And he's
muscle,
very
like
lean.
shredded.
So
Yeah.
I understand, but
That's
it
what
just
pisses me off.
that
But then the
doesn't bother
actual
me that
transformation of it, because there's when he like most of the time they did it that once, you know, where he transforms in the helicarrier and they made it scary, like you're saying. But also when he transforms at the end of Avengers, right? He goes to do the punch. It's not painful. It's not anything. He doesn't even struggle. He just goes right into it,
So
which
this
is cool.
2012.
But yeah, and then after that, right?
Mhm.
When then we get into Age of Ultron, he just kind of transforms. Like there really is, it's either Hulk or him. There's no more scenes where he's transforming. And then when Black Widow pushes him into the thing, and then he comes up back as the Hulk, right? They don't do that parallel anymore. So there's no pain, there's no suffering, you know. And I'm a big person on that. Banner hates the Hulk, and Hulk hates Banner.
Here's the difference between that and all the other Hulks is he's part of the Avengers now. They can't just show every single damn time, because even in like Avengers Assemble, they never really.
That's fine, but I'm saying there's no pain anymore.
Yeah,
there's no difference between the Hulk and
But
Ruffalo.
there probably is pain. It's just off screen. Because they got to quickly get through this, because he's got to get out there and fight. So for Avengers,
that's fine. But giving him a 10 for transformation and look.
Oh, all right.
That transformation scene in the helicarrier was awesome because of the atmosphere and in the scare. But the overall look of Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, I think, with like the look of Banner and the overall, I can't give that a 10.
Overall,
I'd go
I just
to
meant
7.
specifically that scene.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm saying overall, the actual look, the actual transformation process, and the overall look of both of them, I can't go higher than a 7.
I can agree with this.
A 7? Okay, cool. When you said 10 at first, I'm like, are you?
Because I'm thinking of just
me?
that specific scene.
Rage and aggressiveness. I will say at the beginning was like a solid 9. Like when he's fighting in the helicarrier, when he's going off, when he's fighting Thor, that's fun. Also when Black Widow takes him over in Age of Ultron, I mean, that was aggressive. But then now he's kind of, are we going to include Professor Hulk here? It's still Hulk.
You mean when she calms him down?
No. When did I say Black Widow? Yeah. Scarlet Witch. When Scarlet Witch takes over his mind in Age of Ultron. Him and Stark fight.
I think even in the beginning of Age of Ultron, when they were going to get the Tesseract.
When they're in, no, not Sokovia. When they're in, it's Russia, right?
Yeah, they're in Russia going to collect the Tesseract, and he's like tearing through tanks and shit. And Clint was hurt, and then Black Widow's like, "Can I get a little help here?" And he just fucking tears through everything. She's like, "Thank you."
Yeah. I think the aggression and rage was there.
I think the aggression stops at Ragnarok. Because it's a funny movie.
Yeah, he's not even that angry in Ragnarok. Yeah. He's just fighting to.
It's just like it's a big.
And I will say this: I'm one of those people. Like, you guys can disagree or whatever. I'm one of those people that the Infinity War with them nerfing Hulk was smart decision, but I hated it. Like him getting this. Oh, I don't want to come out because I've never been beaten before, and Thanos scares me. I hated that. Yeah. Hulk's not afraid of anybody. He's been beaten many a times, but he's never afraid to fight. And I feel like they did that to kind of like maybe like I'm not even gonna say CGI budget. The whole thing was CGI. Maybe because like to give Ruffalo some more human time.
I think it was more of a decision based off of Hulk versus Thanos. That would have been a main thing of like
which they did in the beginning. But then they show that Thanos whooped his ass.
They need to show how dominant Thanos is.
That's fine, but then having even in Endgame too. Because in Endgame, they got rid of Rageful Hulk. It's now Professor Hulk. Yeah. So,
Endgame didn't really.
What are you thinking for rage and aggressiveness? Even though it started good in the
I'd go 6. Because we got 2 good movies, and then we got.
Wrestler.
Oh no, there was 3.
And there's She-Hulk.
There was 3. So we're not talking.
Well, yeah, anything Professor Hulk. I guess we're not. We have to take account for it.
There was no Hulk.
Yeah.
Well, the other was. He went back to Professor Hulk.
And technically by continuity, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is Edward Norton's Hulk. It's the same character. It's just 2 different actors.
Let's go 5.
So I'm thinking 5 because they really there's other Hulks that have went way more. Yeah. So let's go 5. Into the physical strength. He does a lot. He's
up there. He's really up there. He took on a Chitauri monster by himself in the first Avengers movie
with one punch.
He took on the dog and the wolf in Ragnarok. That was
which is a god.
Feat. Yeah,
which is a literal god.
He took on the fire dude. He went in there.
He jumped at him.
I mean, he was still in that.
The physical strength though of him like him picking up stuff.
And he was beating him a little bit because Thor had to tell him like, no, don't, because he was like, so,
scary monster.
Yeah, so he's definitely above like a 6.
Okay, but I'm trying to think of other things that he's done that's been like he's thrown something or he's picked up something that's like insanely heavy or something where, because like in the comics, the way that they show strength in comics, because nothing's moving, they can't do anything, is where they put him against powerful characters, or they have him like pick a mountain up, or they have him do something in strength. So in the movies, like he's kind of smashing everything, right? But like the Chitauri ship, when he does the one punch, that's pretty big, but he doesn't pick it up.
He also does a thing where he drags it down.
He kind of like leans it. Yeah,
that's considered strength. That was a big fucking machine, or animal, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
He's fought against big fucking things, yes, but
he's done. It's like more than punching. He's fucking dragging these things down, and you gotta understand when you're up on this thing, and like you're pulling it, you're not using like your momentum like down. You're like on it, and then you're fucking dragging it down. That's a lot. I think he's demonstrated the most strength out of all the Hulks. Like we haven't seen any of these other Hulks.
No, one of the Hulks on here has demonstrated strength out the ass.
Better than him?
Yeah, 100%. Which I'll explain when we get to him. But what do you want to give him?
I'm not going any lower than an 8.
An 8?
He's just done ridiculous things. He's fought the most big things in
fighting. Is different
but
than
using
showing
strength.
Brute strength.
Yeah, to do it. Like I keep saying, to dragging.
No, I know, but I'm also saying in the showing of strength. Like
yes,
picking something up that's insane, like in the comics.
It doesn't have to specifically be picking up.
Or throwing something.
Grabbing
or
something.
Defying something.
Moving something that's thousands of
pounds. No, I know. But I'm saying like defying something.
Same.
Like when
if I pick up a boulder and I move it, it's still a demonstration of strength.
Yes.
Just because he's not specifically holding one thing and going,
or like but I'm saying, like, when he went against Graviton and he literally defied all of Earth's gravity to jump at him, we haven't seen that type of. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but
8 is pretty up there.
Yeah,
but
I'm not going.
You're not gonna do a 7?
Nope. I'm not going 7. Bro. He's up there.
Fine, I'll agree a little bit. Then I guess Bruce Banner. I won't go higher than a 7.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because
we don't even Bruce.
His like, Bruce is kind of like the joke now, to where, and I feel like another thing though is that when you always put him up against,
give it a fucking 6.
To be fair, I was giving a 7 because I was trying to like compensate with you.
Oh,
I was thinking a 4 or 5, and the reason is though is because in the beginning he's in Brazil and he's helping out people, right? I'm like, okay, that's Banner. But then he gets to the helicarrier and he gets overshadowed by Stark, by Brilliance.
Well,
and he's very, very smart, but he's there. What?
No, they're working together.
No, I know they work together, but Stark's smarter than him.
I think Stark is because Stark admits when they're locating the cube, he needs him to do it. He needs him.
Locating who?
The cube. That's why they brought him.
Yeah, because it emits gamma. Yeah. All the stones emit gamma.
Yeah, so Stark can't do that. So
because he does no gamma. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like.
But I understand
when you put him in a room with other smart people, like if you had Bruce Banner, Reed Richards, and Tony Stark, then you're sitting there like Banner gets overshadowed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Stark does that in the Avengers movies because Robert Downey Jr. So like he doesn't really get to show his Bruce Banner. Like a lot of the times when he's figuring out stuff, it's with the help of someone else or him trying to figure out things. But he's kind of just this emotional like.
I disagree. I disagree. You said he needs the help of other people. Stark's the one that helped him create Ultron. Stark couldn't create Ultron. He literally told him, you want me to create this, you want me to help you create this murder bot. He said, no, I want to help you create the murder bot. Stark can't do it. He told him
I feel like that's just Stark putting the blame on him.
No, because Stark can't do it. Otherwise, he would have done it, because this was the second time they were making Jarvis. It was Jarvis. He's like, you want me to help you put Jarvis in this? He's like, no, I want to help you put Jarvis into this. Because Stark can't do it.
I also think, though, with, like, the nerdy side of it, they kind of lose that.
Absolutely.
With, like, because when I think of Banner from the comics and just from other stuff, like, he's supposed to be really, really scrawny, really, really weak, very, like, I never want to turn to Hulk, I don't want to do this, he's also extremely depressed, he's tried killing himself multiple times, he's, like, very, like, he doesn't want to be a part of the Avengers, he doesn't like the team effort, he doesn't want it, he wants to be completely alone and by himself, and I don't get that vibe from Ruffalo at all. Like, I know that he's a part of the team for years now, so he's there to like help.
Intelligence. We weren't talking.
No, I was saying in that moment, I just feel like whenever I watch those movies and Stark's with Banner, it's like I'm focusing on Stark. Yeah. And that might just be me, but it's also like
I think they
because
lost
like I said, I didn't remember the dialogue you were saying because I just see it as Tony being an ass. He's like, no, you're gonna help me do it. No, ha ha ha. And like I see it as that rather than giving him his flowers. I see it as Stark being a diva, and then that's how I feel it.
Because that's not how it was delivered.
What? Can't remember. But anyways, I mean, what do you want to give him?
I could do a 5.
All right, we'll give you a 5. Okay, so starting it off, not too shabby, but Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is solid 25 points, which is not too bad. Not too bad. A good starting point. There might be some better than him, but sitting at 25 comfortably. Let's move on to the next Incredible Hulk. All right, Eric Bana. This is the 2000, I think it was 2006 or 2003.
It's 2003.
Okay, so this is the 2003 Hulk, or called Ang Lee's Hulk, which I will say on a more of a biased note, this is my favorite Hulk. I prefer this Hulk over for many reasons a lot of the time, but this definitely has its faults. But this was the first Hulk movie I saw when I was a little kid. So this is like kind of the first iteration other than the TV show. But I guess let's move on. So the transformation, are we gonna count because of the CGI was dated? Or we're not?
No, that's okay.
Okay. Then by that standards, I'm gonna say a 9. Do you remember the movie?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so when he first changes, right? It's kind of in the dark.
It's like in the school or at the office where he's destroying his office and shit.
Yeah, well, he's in a hospital. At the top wing of the hospital because that's where they do all the research. But I like because it goes through and he's doing like kind of on the wall. But like this one kind of shows, I don't know why. There's like a scene, I don't know if you remember it, but it shows his teeth and he's like gritting them and you hear the gritting and it really hurts. And then his shoes start splitting open, kind of, you know, like the basic stuff. But then his dad's in the closet and he's seeing him and he gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's which we'll get to later in that.
I do like his transformations and physiques.
Then the actual look, I think, is a great balance between not shredded, but not that big belly that I think they gave Ruffalo. I think this
then you also got to take into account his transformations. I like that they show the angrier he gets, the bigger he gets.
Yeah. Which that was gonna be a point for Rage, what I was gonna do, but it's the same thing here with like. I also love how this is probably the comic accurate. Like you got the purple pants. You got the black hair, you got like the gritty, like really thick face, gritty, big neck. But also what I like about this is when he transforms, it looks painful. Like he's screaming, he's freaking out, but I also love, and people, they make memes about this, the cringe, when he's just like, feels like, boom, and he doing that. But I love how he's just like,
see, when he's
in the office and he's doing this, and he's just looking, and he's trying to hold it back, and he's sweating bad.
This is what I was about to laugh at. I was gonna wait till we got to this point. When you said you find Mark Ruffalo's acting quirky and weird, I find his acting quirky and weird. I think it's. I
got some points though when we get to Banner for that though. Yeah. I think it works way better than Ruffalo's. I trust. I don't know. I have a point. But overall look, the look is a solid like 9 for me. And then the also transformation of like when it's really painful. I don't know. I feel like I enjoy watching the transformation because when that fucking, I forgot the dude's name, the asshole that's like hitting him with the thing.
I was trying to put the needle in his eye.
Yeah. But then when he starts doing on the coffee table and he's like doing this and his skin turns a little green and he like bangs and he's like, it's kind of like a tantrum, like a baby, and he's like, and
so I agree.
Okay, a 9. Solid. Rage and aggression. This one, I might say a 10. Because
demonstrates perfect rage.
So the when he first transforms, he destroys that hospital, and he just completely like just demolishes it, and then goes off. And then when he wakes up, and then whenever he turns into it again at the other house, he ruins his own house, destroys it, goes on a fucking rampage. And I like the way that they do it. Like he goes on a rampage in the desert, he goes on the rampage in the city, he goes on a rampage everywhere, and there really is no direction. He's just like, oh, from here to here to here to here, I'm gonna destroy that. Also, like you were saying, this is the only one that's comic accurate that he gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and he gets more fucking like like the muscle mass. It looks like muscle on muscle, and that. I'm gonna say a 10.
I can do 10. I don't
because
there's no real flaws with his aggression.
Exactly. Physical strength.
I will say
10.
you're fucking delusional if you think his physical strength is better. What has he done that tops?
First off, okay.
What has he picked up or showed that
he flung that tank like a softball?
So did what's his name in Avengers Infinity War when he fucking helps?
Do you know how far he threw that fucking tank?
Yeah.
Like it was nothing. We did not see Mark Ruffalo throw anything that far.
Cool, but he's still that dude.
There's also no giant monsters for him to fight.
That's what I was saying, but he had. I said he has the most shit demonstrated where he can demonstrate his strength. But throwing a tank far is a very hulky thing to do.
Yes, but
that's a very basic hulky thing to do.
The amount that he threw it. Also, him like. It's just kind of little things like him biting the head off of a missile and then spitting it out. And then that's like, just to show that's kind of like a missile's made out of fucking metal. I know he's strong, but like, it's one of those things like his own teeth, like his own fucking things.
I think you might be letting your biasness.
And then, no, I'm serious. Like, and then when he goes against Absorbing Man and Absorbing Man turns into a literal mountain, he literally rips the mountain off and fucking chucks it. I'm just saying the amount shown of showing strength versus him fighting things. I'm not okay. I'll come down from a 10, but I think he's way stronger.
He can have this. He can have. I'll give you this.
I think he's stronger than Ruffalo by 1 point.
No, dude, I'm not going higher than 7. I'm not.
What do you mean? Dude. You have to get, dude. All you're saying is Ruffalo fighting against big creatures, but I'm saying the actual show of strength.
He's doing very basic shit. You saying he's moving through asphalt? He's moving road. The Incredible Hulk can move road, or he can bite metal. Or he can throw a tank.
But I'm saying the amount of force, like the distance of him showing. Also, the amount like Hulk being able to like his jump and lunges are way stronger than Ruffalo.
We saw one demonstration in Age of Ultron, but I will say it's kind of like kind of like Spider-Man swings. How Andrew Garfield has it's more a demonstration on his swings, but everyone else still swings. Yes. He has the best shots of swinging, but they all swing. They all jump. Like, Hulk took Black Widow, fucking jumped far as fuck to get back to Sokovia, to get her back to the battlefield after she transformed him. After she kicked him off, they jumped far as fuck. And then we see him jump high as fuck to get to the airships that are trying to shoot him.
Yeah.
In the first one.
That's fine. But, like, in the comics, they have Hulk being able to jump to the moon if he wanted to, right?
Yeah, but
because he can ride anything limitless. No, but he's jumped like.
I've seen the scene. I understand what you're saying. The distance, but I'm just saying I think they showed it better visually, but they all have jump scenes. Like it's not.
No, I know, but I'm saying the force it takes to jump like that. Like when we saw Captain America: Brave New World, and we saw Ross being able to jump. I was so happy to see that because I haven't seen that since, and that shows the power. Like I would even say Red Hulk is stronger than.
You haven't seen that since 2014 when they stopped focusing on Hulk. But
I know,
he's
but
definitely...
I'm saying with Ruffalo's Hulk, I've seen him do the jump thing with the Age of Ultron, but also at Ragnarok where he jumps up back onto Hulk's ship, onto Thor's ship when it gets him off of the bridge after Hela and him fight, and it just never seems impactful. I don't know if that's the filmmaking or. Like
I just said, it's better shots. It's just visually better, but he's still jumping crazy far.
No, I think he's just if Mark Ruffalo's strength is 99, then his is 100. It's 1 point off. I feel like if you put him against the same monsters, he would do better than Ruffalo's. That's what I'm saying, because he's stronger. I feel like, and because he gets stronger, the angrier he gets, because that's lore accurate for this Hulk. So he's limitless. That's what I'm saying. Like, he has to be because they don't keep that canon in Ruffalo. So Ruffalo has a cap. He doesn't.
You're making hypotheticals right now. You said, I think if you put him against this, that's hypothetical. We're talking about what's displayed with this movie, this actor, this Hulk. This Hulk in his movie doesn't do shit that this Hulk has done in his fucking movies. We just said he took on a fucking god. And you're saying, oh, he's biting metal off of missiles and digging through the road. What are you talking? How are you going to compare his strength to that strength? You can't, because in that movie...
Okay, the things are the hypotheticals. They are hypotheticals, but I'm basing them off of what I've seen. If I've never seen that movie, I couldn't say...
How can you say that he's stronger than this Hulk, because he could. What has he done in his movie that makes
I'm
you
saying,
think
first
that
off,
he could take on a god better?
First
than,
off, he gets bigger the angrier he gets, meaning he gets stronger. So he doesn't have a cap. We've seen that Mark Ruffalo has a cap. So that already puts him in a different category of strength.
But if you want to get technical to that degree, this is technical. That's that 2003, 2008. That's all technically MCU. So if you want to get hypothetical,
2003 is not MCU.
That's not MCU.
No. 2003 is not MCU.
So only 2008 and
yeah, because the Incredible Hulk, that's the start of the MCU after Iron Man. This is not MCU.
All right,
this is like Blade.
Well then, whatever. But I'm not, dude. 7's it, bro. He hasn't demonstrated.
I disagree. I'll give you a 7, just so we don't go any lower. I disagree. I think he has shown. I was just using ideas that came to my head of like the whole thing of biting the missile.
Other ideas in this movie that can prove that he's?
I think you're taking off. I think you're minimizing feats of strength because they're not being used within a fight, which I don't understand. That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with, oh, he didn't fight a god. That doesn't matter when you're seeing the actual mathematical, like the whole thing. Oh, every Hulk throws a tank. Yes, but if you were in like I said, this is a hypothetical I'm coming up with. But if you had a line, right, and if you had all 4 Hulks standing, and you said throw as hard as you can, Hulk, and Mark Ruffalo goes, then Edward Norton goes, and all of them go, he would throw the farthest because he is shown to have limitless strength because of how accurate they made the movie. But also, if they've done the calculations, like I've seen this on YouTube and other things, they've done like when he flings that tank, which a tank is like 3 tons. So he takes 3 tons and throws it literally like, and they've done all that, and they went to the desert and they showed like thing on YouTube. I would have to show you later, but he threw it like 137 miles, like through the fucking to get to that cross.
Somebody went to the desert.
And no. They looked at the movie and they looked at the set photos and they said, okay, so the tank's here, it gets thrown here, trajectory calculate. It's like kind of like a film theorist. It's someone like that. But he said he threw that tank that fucking far, it would need this amount of force, like this amount of pounds per force of strength to throw something that far. And it was way over of what we're seeing in Mark Ruffalo. That's the way I'm thinking. So you're seeing it as, oh, he's fought gods, he's fought Ragnarok, he's fought the big thing, and I'm like, yes, that's why I gave Mark Ruffalo so low, because I'm looking for feats of strength. Like if we saw Mark Ruffalo, like he gets so rageful and he jumps out of the atmosphere into a Chitauri ship in space, then I'd be like, okay, that's the strongest Hulk.
Or if he jumps high as fuck and has enough brute strength to go like this on top of a fire fucking god, Ragnarok god, that's fucking there to destroy Asgard, and he fucking hits him like that. That's physical strength.
That's physical strength, but Ragnar didn't fall over anything. He just went, like that.
Yeah, so that's way better than fucking digging through the road. That's
Mark
fine.
Ruffalo has a cap to where we only see like a punch,
think they show shit better visually.
Yeah, I know.
That's all I think, but I'm still not going higher than 7 though.
That's fine. Oh, his Bruce Banner. I think his Bruce Banner's an 8. I think it's a very, very good take on someone who's nerdy. The only thing I don't agree with, the look on him, is that he's a bigger dude. I think he's like 6'2". He's kind of like he's not built, but he's just a bigger dude. But he hunches over, he sits in his chair, he lets that dude bully him around, and he's in love with Betty, even though that dude's trying to take Betty out. He doesn't stand up for himself. He's also super depressed half of the time. He's crying half of the movie, and Ang Lee's Hulk is a massive undertailing of trauma and domestic violence and abuse. It's a phenomenal fucking movie if you actually give a shit about it rather than just watching a Hulk movie. But it shows like how kind of destroyed mentally he is, and then when he finally becomes this Hulk, he's so just upset with himself, confused, and he doesn't even want to live. And he kind of forces. That's why when he's like, oh, like when his dad's like, give it everything to me, and he's like, you're not even my fucking dad, and he's like screaming at him when they're locked up. Like that is like, I don't know, it just shows kind of the parallels of like how fucking mentally torn he is. And then on the other side of things, like he goes and helps that guy, and that's how he gets the gamma radiation, and then like Bruce would do that, and he's super like, oh, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. Betty's always like, yeah, you're gonna have to speak English. Like he's the one teaching everybody everything, and I don't know, I just get that nerdy Bruce Banner vibe, which is a complete opposite to the Hulk that they created. I feel like that's a solid 8.
So for me, Agree. I think that because of this is an origin story, this movie for Bruce, I think his portrayal, he had the most to work with his origin, so he got to do more as Bruce than any other actor.
Yeah, because they can spend half the movie before they turn it the whole.
So I like that, like in the comics, his father, Brian Banner, is abusive. We get to see how that affects him as Bruce. Bruce in the comics is a very he keeps himself bottled up, his feelings.
Yeah.
He's very, because when you're intelligent like that, you find everything annoying when people are trying to tell you something. Like, you already know this, or blah, blah, blah. So,
every conversation is kind of like a waste of time to him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I already know what you're doing.
And Bruce's personality in the comics is very much like that. And he, that annoyance builds up over time. So Bruce has anger issues in the comics, but it's not like due to like crashing out for nothing. It's more intelligent.
It's because no one's on his level.
That's what I'm saying. I wish we would have saw that, but I will agree with your 8. The only reason I would consider a 7, which I'm not going to, I'm going to agree with your 8. The 6'2", that actor, his physique really bothers me. He's too big.
He's supposed to be small and scrawny.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I was saying. Like, he's just a big dude. And I think it's kind of funny that they got a big dude to play a very scrawny nerdy. Like, honestly, if I was to cast a Bruce Banner or a Hulk, I would cast somebody that's tiny. I would cast somebody like maybe the height's okay, because Banner is like 6 foot in the comics. He's not like my size. He's just scrawny. So like Andrew Garfield, you know, he's very scrawny.
He's 6 foot.
Yeah, he's like 5'11", 6 foot. He's like a tall, lengthy. He's like almost as tall as Reed. But Reed is built, you know, he's built like that. But like he's like kind of hunched over. He's scrawny. He's kind of like decrepit, you know, because he keeps to himself.
I thought
and
he'd be
so
like 5'10".
no, he's not short. It's like one of those things to where the height's okay, but he's just he's a good sized dude.
Yeah.
So it kind of loses that nerdy, and it kind of reminds me of like when Andrew Garfield was Spider-Man, and they're trying to have him be the nerdy kid that gets bullied.
Why I was bringing up the intelligence thing, I was trying to get at is because of how big he is, it makes me. I know it's like kind of stereotypical, but I believe it less when he's like talking nerdy. Like, I'm just like, I feel like he's acting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's less believable to
It's
me.
one of those things that, like, if you're a big meathead looking dude, I don't expect you to be reading the Pythagorean theorem.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, and they do that a lot where it's like, oh, like, they do that in comedy movies to where it's like someone that's really big and bulky. They're like, actually, I love knitting.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, yeah,
Sure.
it kind of distracts you from that, you know, a little bit. But if you're going to do an 8, so,
I'll agree.
all right, so tallied up. Eric Bana, which is so funny, Banner and Bana, but Eric Bana is sitting at 34, which is almost 10 more than Mark Ruffalo for the best Hulk. And right now, he is the closest to closest to 40. So right now, he's in the lead. He's number 1. We'll see if he gets knocked down, or we'll see if he stays the reigning champion. On to the next Hulk. All right, Bill Bixby as Bruce Banner and Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. Now, obviously, we can all understand that this is probably going to be the lowest of them, just out of the bat. It's just how it's going to be. But we have to include the first to ever do it. So, moving on, let's get right to the transformation. This is back in the fucking 90s, I'm pretty sure. So, the transformation scenes aren't anything crazy, but I do appreciate that instead of trying to do CGI or because we've had CGI since the 70s.
Yep.
So instead of them trying to do that, they're like, we're a TV show, we have no budget, and they just let's get a big bodybuilder. And this gave Lou Ferrigno a really big push into his acting career and other things that he does, because like I love the creativity of just painting someone green. Yeah.
Let's go like 5.
I'll say a 6. I'll say a 6 because the transformation is fun because it has him. They do the contacts, which I like. They have him doing that, and then it boom zooms in on the contacts, and then they do the whole green thing, and then they shred the clothes. It's classic. It's a classic look. It's nothing crazy, and in the overall look, I mean, he has the ripped pants, and it's Lou Ferrigno in paint. So I'll give him a 6. Let's give him something to fight for. Rage and aggression. This one, I mean, I know that he can't destroy buildings because it's Lou Ferrigno, but they do props where he lifts like a car and he lifts things and all that stuff.
It's
and
very
he
basic.
throws stuff and it's very basic, but he breaks a lot of stuff, and when he does turn, he kind of turns into a mindless creature here.
My point being, 5. He's everything we've seen on him is very basic. It's not like above or below. It's very average.
I'll give it a 5 for that. Physical strength, same thing. They do things where he lifts cars and he lifts things that are very, very heavy in real life, but we know it's fake. No, we haven't seen him do anything even close to the other people.
He isn't like tearing through the road or anything.
No.
Yeah.
So that's a 5. Bruce Banner though, I think is a 10. Like I don't know if you remember the show, but like this one really shows how just he is so depressed, and like the music that plays at the end, and he's like he's got this beard at some point. He's just
I really like his Bruce Banner.
Yeah. I love his Bruce Banner. And he's super smart. He's super
and
like
he looks the part too.
He's got the but now he's not even called Bruce Banner. He's David Banner in this. So his Bruce Banner, David Banner, is very like he tries to help everyone he can, and he tries not to get angry. There's points where he's like, please don't, and he'll take himself out of situations, and he really hates who he is and turns into. And I love how they end every episode with him just walking and hoping for a ride, and just he's stuck with this curse. And then when they do the death of the Incredible Hulk movie, it's like it just really shows that he's now at peace because he doesn't have to be this creature.
I agree.
I'd give him a 10. Yeah, it's a solid Bruce Banner.
Well.
Adding it up, so a 6, 5, 5, and then a 10, and it's because that Bruce Banner was so good. He's 1 point past Mark Ruffalo. So
let's clarify right now, his Hulk is nowhere near Mark
Ruffalo's. No. The Hulk of it and the idea of what it is nowhere near.
This is all based off.
But Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner just sucks. I just don't like his Bruce Banner. This guy really killed it as Bruce Banner from the comics of like being a very depressed intellectual man that just can't trust the world anymore. So that's it's 26. That you know, I agree. Sorry, Mark, but it is what it is. Now let's get on to the last and final Incredible Hulk. All right, Edward Norton. Some say the best Hulk.
The best. Personally, my favorite.
I really love this. I only like Ang Lee's Hulk a little bit more just because of nostalgia. But this guy, this is fucking killed it. And this was also the first iteration for the MCU. So this was the original MCU Hulk.
So let's do it.
So let's get on. So the transformation, I say a 10.
Great, 10.
Yeah.
Especially the glass one where he's with the look in his eyes.
When the leader, or at least Mr.
Oh,
Blue
yeah,
at the
and
time,
he's trying to...
No, you see the shoulders break. Like, that is so painful. He's screaming. I also love a big thing. I don't think they do this with Ruffalo either. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they do the eye thing with Ruffalo, do they?
The green eyes?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
No, I love that because and a lot of the times when they were first doing this, because this is the first Hulk movie since Ang Lee and also the TV show, but Lou Ferrigno's in this movie. Like, they show a lot of love to the TV show. Like, when he's I think he's in Puerto Rico. I don't even know where he's at. But he's, like, walking on the streets sad, and then you hear that music. Yeah. But one of the things I love about that, right, is he's like, when he's getting kicked by those dudes, and then you just like everything's dark except his eyes, and he goes, and then you just see the neon green.
Yeah, so
and
10.
Then, yeah, just solid 10. Also the look of him, I mean, absolute shredded, absolute lean.
He has the best physique.
Yeah.
Like muscle mass. Also the shredness.
I forgot what it's called.
You could see his striations.
The striations, yeah, when he like tenses up in the muscles, he looks mean as fuck. Solid 10. Rage and aggressiveness? 10? Are we gonna do all 10s? I mean, like, maybe a 9, just to like on par with Ang Lee's Hulk. I mean, let's think about it. So at the beginning, he's really trying to hone in. He's like, no accidents, no nothing. And then when he finally does, he doesn't really tear through the factory. He kind of just tries to kill the guys.
Apart.
Tears the guys, and then
he runs into the military.
And then he doesn't really destroy the city or anything. It's not really rampage. It's really like his rage. Like, he is an angry Hulk. He's very like
I think a good one is when he's yelling at the lightning.
Yeah.
The thunder, and he's like, and you get to see his muscles.
And he throws the thing because he's trying to protect Betty. And he's like, stand back. Like, I really love that look. And it shows he's very rageful, but he's not really aggressive. Like, when no one's fighting him, he just kind of jumps out of the way. He kind of gets out of there. Like, he doesn't attack anybody. He doesn't attack the city. He doesn't go off on a fucking tantrum. He's not out of control. He's kind of like just aim. That's why when Bruce Lee's like, oh, maybe I can aim it at him, right? Like, when he gets pissed off into the library or the college or whatever, and then he fights Ross, he doesn't go anywhere else. He doesn't jump. He fights everyone that's fighting him, and then he protects Betty, and then he leaves. So he doesn't go on a rampage. He kind of calms down because there's these moments where Hulk will stare at somebody, or he's actually very calm and controlled. So maybe not a 10. Maybe
that's what I was thinking. Maybe like a 9 or
because
an 8, something like that.
Maybe an 8. I think 8's solid because there is moments where he is rageful, but he's very calm about it. It's controlled. It's not like a loose Hulk. It's not like, oh my god, the Hulk's loose. He's gonna destroy everything.
Yelling at the lightning and the fucking rock. That's kind of like that's his most aggressive, out of control.
Yeah, for no reason.
Just fucking
because he doesn't understand something. Yeah.
So,
but everything else is very timid.
Let's do 8.
Yeah. All right. Solid 8. Then on to his physical strength.
I'm not going higher than an 8. And like I said, this is my favorite.
I was gonna say a 9 because
this is my favorite Hulk, but the only physical.
Which one? What are you gonna say?
I think the best. When he's fighting the military, he does the things. I like how he made shields out of the
cars.
Yeah, I like how he did that.
That's when he's fighting Abomination, right?
No, that's when he's fighting the army, because he made a shield. When the army was fighting him, he was using. I think he used a tank, and he used the metal to stop for their shooting at him.
Oh, with the sonic.
No, not to that. They're using actual guns, and he's stopping it like Captain America's shield. That's the library part.
He gets out in the library and then he has the.
I could have sworn he used
stabbing at the ground with when he's fighting Blonsky.
I could. Yeah. That's the stuff he's using. I like that they did that.
The thing and he throws it at the sonic boom guns.
So I like that they did all that. I think fighting Blonsky was a very big part because it's another Hulk. So that's a
right. I'd also the Hulk clap that takes out all the air. I think that was dope. I feel like they did it better with Ross and Great Britain and World to show the destruction of a Hulk clap. But
then the chain holding them that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't want to go higher than 8 because that wouldn't. Because it's kind of the same thing with your situation. We see him do a lot more than I think your Hulk did, but still not enough for me to be like, oh, his Hulk is stronger.
Well, like I said, I don't think he's stronger than Ang Lee's Hulk, even though you disagree. I don't think he's stronger than him. And Ruffalo, I mean, they've done that thing where Ruffalo's Hulk versus Norton's Hulk, who's winning? I feel like Norton's Hulk is winning.
Yeah, winning.
But is it a strength thing or is it a rageful thing? That's kind of what it is.
I think
he throws that when Blonsky is he threw a forklift like it's a softball. I mean, the forklift's a lot. It's not crazy, but
I think it's more of a rage thing and a fan favoritism thing.
Right.
It's a little bit of both.
His Hulk is obviously just did better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall,
I want to go 8.
I'm trying to think of what else he did though. He didn't really do anything hugely strength-driven. He tore the car apart, but cars aren't that big. That's not a huge
everything
thing.
he did was basic.
Maybe 7. I mean, if we're going to physical strength, he didn't really show. Yeah, he didn't really show anything that was so physically imposing.
Throwing that rock the way he did is
that's
equivalent to throwing the fucking tank or whatever.
Not even close, but I give him throwing the rock at the lightning.
But it was dark. We didn't see how far it went. It could have went just as far as. It
went into the moon. Could have went to the stratosphere.
I'm not talking about. I'm saying.
But I'm saying what we've seen.
Visually.
Yeah.
It was shown better in that movie, but it was dark and we don't know how far it went. It could have easily went as far as he threw that tank.
Probably. That's what I'm saying.
We can do
7
then.
Even.
We can do 7 then.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think 7's even enough because I think he's definitely stronger than Ruffalo. But
I'm good with 7.
He's on par with it. Yeah. And then his Bruce Banner.
Dude, top notch. So his Bruce Banner, he got to demonstrate Bruce as. He got to demonstrate Bruce as a.
He's not hurting.
He got to demonstrate Bruce as someone who is trying to live with the Hulk and cure the Hulk. So with your guy, we got to see a lot more of an origin. We got to see trauma. We got to see him being the Hulk, how that affects him personally. So we got to see a lot more. With this, he's always on the run. All he's trying to do is cure the Hulk. But I will agree, we don't see a lot of nerdiness out of him.
I will say, well, I feel like we see a lot of science stuff with him, but
it's not personal.
The look of it, they definitely got it. He's short, he's scrawny, he doesn't have any physical stuff, he barely can fight. He's very I got to get out of this situation. And it's very good opposite to show from when he turns into this massive beast.
But what I'm saying is, personally, intelligence-wise, all we see is him emailing Mr. Blue. And that's
well,
kind
at the beginning when he's coming up with the cure, the fact that he can even think of, like, he's using a
yeah,
bicycle
but
rod.
that's a basic thing for, like, any intelligent person. We gotta talk. I want to see something out of him.
Right.
So I could agree with an 8.
Did I say an 8?
You said you're not going any higher than.
Yeah, higher than an 8. I might go lower though, but I'm seeing like an 8. That might be solid. I'm just trying to think of like when he's with Mr. Blue and they're going back and forth. It's not really sciencey. It's more of like, hey, you can't. No, I want this out of me. I don't want to keep it. And they also do that very good. Like he's living as
smart
poor
enough
as he can be. He's living off the grid.
We also have to take into intelligence is he's smart enough to stay away from the military, who's consistently tracking him.
Yeah,
he's smart enough.
But I'm also saying like that's why I was kind of saying with the idea that at the beginning, like the fact that he was able to use barely anything to create
that's more of a like. I get what you're saying, but you gotta understand the amount of technology that the government has access to stay off of their radar completely. That takes a level of intelligence that's not out of the norm for someone that's like, oh, let me put this together. That's more of a basic thing. To stay off their radar is more than that's high level intelligence. To stay off of the military's radar for a long period of time. Yeah, who's consistently out of their way trying
looking
to.
For that
he
one
was
person.
called what the Hulk Hunter.
Yeah, Hulk Hunter. Yeah.
So that's above. That's street smart / book smart. That's both. That's above intelligent, normal intelligence.
And he also memorized everywhere in Brazil, like that area, because if they did come after him, he knew exactly where to go, where to run. Like he was keeping it up. All right, so that leaves Edward Norton's Hulk, which is most of everyone's favorite.
My favorite.
33, which is 1 point off of Eric Bana, which is the Ang Lee Hulk. So, by those numbers, our winner is Eric Bana for the best live-action, accurate Hulk. Which, I mean, I can agree with. I know we definitely disagreed on the whole strength thing, but, I mean, you have the look, the purple pants, and he also gets the one thing that I think sticks out. He gets bigger with more rage, which is the Hulk. That's one of the things that I think they miss with everything every time they do it. And there's moments though, like there's a moment in Edward Norton's Hulk where like Abomination's got him like that, and he's like, you don't deserve this power. And then Hulk like grits his teeth, and you kind of see him get a little bit more angry, and then he's able to pull the form, like he gets madder. But I mean, I'm fine with this. Do you think you think well,
considering
Edward
how high
won, or
well, in my personal opinion, Edward's like my favorite. Like, I would prefer him over this guy, but I definitely see why this guy won.
Like numbers wise.
Yeah.
Like
and I'm not mad because it was very close. Like it wasn't. Like,
yeah, it's 1 point off. This is 1 point off. So by 1 point, literally, it's just your cup of tea. I think by comic accuracy and just like if we're going to translate a character from the comics to live action, I think they hit the nail with this one.
Yep.
If the CGI wasn't so outdated, I feel like it'd be on par with the Incredible Hulk if they had to make a new one.
No. I think as terms as like a flow, like how they like the directing was a bit weird to me.
I like the comic style though, with like the multiple panels and everything. A lot of people find that
like
weird.
When he blew up, and then it turned into like a cutout of the guy, the asshole, when he blew up in the fire, and it was just a cutout of him. Like I found that a little weird. But
that's comics, you know. That's like comic. They kind of went with that overlaying comic tone.
But I'm just saying I disagree with the fact that if they made this with better CGI, that it would be storytelling wise like on par with the Incredible.
I can see that, yeah. That's all for this video. We have the reigning champion of Eric Bana as the best Hulk. You know, just iteration from we're looking at from comic to the screen. And if you agree, then let us know down below. If you like Mark Ruffalo, or you like Edward Norton, or even, let's say, if you like Lou Ferrigno, way better, he's your favorite all-time Hulk. Hey, let us know down in the comments. But either way, we thank you for being one of the inmates here at the Asylum. Peace.